Hi guys, got first place OTS Traptrix deck profile here. My matchups were round 1 Dark Magician, 2-0'd, it was a bit of a bye. Round 2 was Dragon Link, which I 2-0'd. Game 1 I had the Ash for Chaos Space and he didn't really make much of a board. Game 2 I had a Lancia mid to late game where he had Levy and Grave and it was his only form of play and he just scooped with cards. Round 3 was Super Heavy Samurai, so the new best deck. Lost die roll. That was one thing with all my matchups is I did lose every single die roll, so I went second every game. But won game 1, lost game 2, and I got back game 3. Round 4 was a Traptrix mirror, which I just outgrinded both games. Fenrir came in clutch game 1, which was one of the things on my list is I did main 3 Fenrir. That card was absolutely nuts all day. And then game 2, I just helped grinded him out, and he had no Sarahs, no Holteas. And with the mirror, in my opinion, you need to keep those cards as long as possible because they are just your power plays. None of the hold traps, which the only traps you're replaying in the deck, do much against any of your Traptrix because they're unaffected. And then my final round was another Super Heavy Samurai player, which I did 2-0 after losing die roll. Game 1, I did open 3 hand traps. Game 2, he just dropped a Baguska and passed after getting rolled. And I just let him Baguska detach the materials and I just gained an advantage and I just had too many interruptions for him to make a play. I'm just going to go straight into the profile now. Starting off, 3 Pudica. Won't cut this card unless I was playing Prosperity. That's one thing with my list is I do not play Prosperity, I just don't own them. Pudica on summon lets you add the Traptrix Garden, which gives you an additional normal summon and a banish to summon from your grave or hand, which you play one off. Just going to get that out of the way. One Garden, you don't really need any more. It's just a brick on its own unless you open up 2 Traptrix monsters, which isn't very likely. I wouldn't really want to cut this at all. Card's just a great normal summon. If they hand trap it other than Gamma, you just make a Sarah set like an Imperial Summit so you still have a play. Or just any trap for that matter. This card's quite solid and has helped the deck since the structure deck's come out. 3 Morello. This one on normal summon lets you add a trap hole from your deck, and when it's special summoned it lets you pop a spell trap on the field. Another one with Pudica is when it's special summoned it lets you banish a monster on field and it lets your opponent summon one back during the next turn in the standby phase, which a lot of people do forget, and it is a UCAM so it's not a mandatory to summon back. 3 Mantis. This is, like, in my opinion, one of the worst normal summons for the deck because it only lets you add a monster, so the only thing you really want to search is the Extender, which I'm only playing 2 Compa. And the other one is it lets you bounce back a spell trap on the field, which is set, so it helps play around the Dynea banish, and then I'm playing 2 Dynea as well. You need to play 2 of these. If you draw 1, you got none in deck, which you need minimum 1 in deck. And 2 comes up for the grind game as well. I wouldn't really change any of the ratios. I think 3 of this isn't the greatest because it does lock you into insects and plants. That's it for the Traptrix monsters. Parallel at Sea, there's an Extender. This card's pretty nuts, just giving you an access to another rank 4. Opening any of the Traptrix monsters in Exceed lets you just drop a Rafflesia to play around hand traps before you continue playing. And if you have no way to extend, apart if you open the Pudica and Exceed, which is quite hard because it's a specific 2 card combo, you can just make the ping, search your Morello and then just add a trap, or like a Mantis to search the combo and make another rank 4. So there's ways where you can play through, and this card just helps so much. Hand traps, Triple Ash. It's most generic hand trap. It's not the greatest on its own, but paired with another hand trap it can be quite strong. 3 Ogre. This card's broken against the Super Heavy Samurai on the Link 1 Scareclaw. It can hit the scales as well, but that makes you want to play into Gamma, which you don't really want to do because every list is literally just playing Gamma at the minute. But Ogre's pretty solid at the minute. There's not too many matchups where it's good against, but it does come up in certain other matches as well. 3 Droll. This card's broken against Super Heavy Samurai as well. If you can't tell, most of the main deck is just Super Heavy Samurai Hate. It is literally the best deck. This can hit other stuff like Dragon Link. This can come up against my Dragon Link matchup as well. And then 3 copies of Ephemerate. In my opinion, this is the best going second card in the deck. Card's nuts. It was just help breaking boards before I could start making my own board. Just playing through some of the interruptions. And that's it really for like the going second cards. There is like another one which is a kaiju on the side, but I think the amount that I was playing was just good enough. Traps, 3 Holtea. This is like the Traptrix version of the Shade Brigadine, so it summons itself, but you have to discard a trap. You don't mind discarding the trap old trap to summon it, because you can just set it back with Dionea. So you can specifically discard whatever one you want, and then set it back down with Dionea. It also banishes to res a Traptrix monster from your grave, so summoning back Pudica just to get the banish, or a Morello for the pop, it's just insane. And it's also good as a follow-up card as well, just to set off the Serra. Floodgate, Traptrix Nightmare, Time Space, Grave Diggers, and Bottomless. Just playing one of each of these. Floodgate is good against Cash. The Nightmare is just good up against any matchup really. Grave Digger protects against hand traps, specifically like Nibiru. You do kind of lose to a Nibiru. The only thing you can do is play more of this, just in case you draw it. But if you play more, it's like more chance of drawing a brick card, because you do really want to see hand traps, especially in like this format. And then the last 2, Time Space and Bottomless, these are really good against Branded. So that's another matchup which you can struggle against. And this stops Albaz, this stops the summon of the fusion, so it makes them have to think more. Especially paired up with another interruption, it can just really pass the turn. And that's it for those. And there is another going second card, Imperm. This is really good in Traptrix specifically because of Serra. This can help trigger Serra on your opponent's turn as well. So it lets you special Pudica as well, and you get another banish there. Pudica's really nuts for me, so it's like I do keep mentioning it. Extra deck, 3 Serra, mandatory 3 of, won't cut it, cards just absolutely nuts. 1 Calaria, 1 Atopus. These come up in like niche situations, but there is times where they do come up. Like Atopus just banishing the trap just to pop a card that is targeted to negate. The attack boost comes up as well because it boosts all the Traptrix, so this helps push the game. Calaria, like summoning back a Dionea in like mid to late game and then getting the Dionea to set another trap just so you're having more forms of interruptions, also nice. So that's it for the links. Moving on, Xyz, Double Rafflesia. Can play one of this. You don't really make 2 that often, so it doesn't come so much. But just having the second one there just for a bit of like utility is alright. 2 ping. This card was nuts, I was making this so much. Having the rotor of a Traptrix monster as follow-up was just really, really nice. There's multiple times where I've gone through both in multiple matches, and I probably won't cut this. I'm probably more inclined to cut Rafflesia for the cheat card that come out in Syak, which I haven't tested. I've only just picked one up, so it'd be nice to test with that as well. And 1 Alamaris as well. Probably won't cut this. This comes up as well, just resing the Dionea to set a trap or getting any of the secondary effects of the Traptrix. Just helps break a board, and it's another level 4 to make another rank 4. So you are breaking the board and making your own as well. Time Thief, this card's nuts, especially with Holtea, so that gives you the multiple effects to put one back to the top of the deck, the monster lets you banish. Certain matchups as well, just dropping this and getting a spell gives you a free draw as well, which just always helps for your advantage. 1 Exciting Night, didn't come up for me, wouldn't cut it. Card in theory is just busted, like out in such a big presence of board, and then making your own just can really swing the game. Spriggan's Package, don't play Therions in the side, do want to test with them. Again, it's just some cards I don't own, but these are here really just to make a 4 material Zeus, and I'm playing the 1 Zeus. It doesn't really matter if Kashtira just banished the 1 Zeus, because you still have Exciting Night. And to be honest, I didn't even actually summon this at my last locals at all throughout the day, but there's options where it could come up. I just went for a bit more of a safe route, 'cause this was like playing more into Nibiru and stuff, which I probably shouldn't have just been that scared, but like I was winning, so it didn't really matter so much. I was just trying not to get punished. Moving on to the side deck. 3 Kaiju, these should be Gamma Seals. If you have Gamma Seals, just play Gamma Seal. It's the smallest Kaiju. 3 Lancia. This card's nuts against evenly match, even though it's not in the format so much. It's good against my Dragon Link matchups, that made him just basically pick up his cards. 3 Cosmic, you're getting rid of back row. Floodgates, the Wakashi Super Heavy Samurai guy, the Benki for 6 Super Heavy Samurai again, just things like that. I don't think back row removal is so important in this format. There's not many like good back row decks, ain't gonna lie. But just having the Cosmics there was just good generic removal. Great Judgment, Broken going first card. There's trap matchups, you can pull it in for going second, just to help break boards in the future game state, because you know for a fact you're going to go to a grind game. Best thing in my side really was just D-Barrier. Against the Super Heavy Samurai player, I flipped this, called Pendulum, basically just pass turn. That's really it for the side. One thing to note is I didn't play evenly, which you probably have gathered. Don't think the card's too great at the minute. My prior locals, I was main decking 3, and it just wasn't doing enough for me. But it's one of those cards that will float in and out of formats, and it'll probably just make my way back into my deck list at some point anyway. Thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe. I will be back for more content. I'll have a Dark World profile up for you again soon. Thanks. Bye.